Good morning everyone. This week we set you a new training challenge with the help of another Angela. She's going to show us how to make chocolate orange truffles. These are such a lovely treat to give to someone you love or just someone you think needs a little treat. I cannot wait to give it a go. Make sure you send us a picture if you try it out. Over to you, Angela.
Good morning boys and girls. This morning I'm going to show you how to make Teddy's chocolate orange truffles. Now what you're going to need is double cream, some digestive biscuits, some Teddy's chocolate orange mini segments. You can always use the big chocolate orange, it doesn't really matter which ones you use. Now first of all we need to prepare the digestive biscuits. Now it's quite simple, we just need 12 digestive biscuits. You put them inside a freezer bag, hold on the end and give it bash, 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 bash. And that's how I actually make up the biscuits. So anyway, I've already got these ones prepared for us to use in a minute. In another bowl, we need to measure out 175 mils of our double cream. And then we need to heat it. I just prefer to heat it in the microwave. I feel I can keep a better eye on it in that way, but you feel free, if you can get a grown-up to help you, you can always do it in a pan on the cooker in a very low heat. So I'll just put it in the microwave. Now I've heated this in the microwave and I put it in for 30 seconds at a time and give it a wee stir. Now you stop heating it just when you see tiny little bubbles along the very edge. We want it before it starts to boil. Now into that, this is a yummy bit, we put in approximately a packet and a half of these, or 175 grams of the chocolate orange as well. And we stir through until it's all nice and melted. And once the chocolate's all melted through, you're left with a lovely thick gloopy sauce, nice and messy. So to this, we add in the digestive biscuit crumb that we prepared earlier. So just tip it all in there. So we mix this until it's all lovely and coated. Here we go. So now it looks like a big thick paste. It's a bit messy looking. So what you have to do now is, when this is ready and you finish mixing it through, you need to put it into the fridge for at least 4 hours. So I'll just stick it in the fridge. Here is one of the ones that's been left already for the 4 hours in the fridge. It goes pretty solid. So before we go on to the next bit, we need to give our hands a really good wash. So that's time for that now. So that's the hands all clean because this bit's going to get a bit messy, I'm afraid. Right, so first of all, before we do this, we need to get another bowl and one of the big 200 gram bars of chocolate. We're going to warm this through in the microwave to melt it gently, and I check it quite often. We'll just break it all up first, it makes it so much easier than doing it once it's out the packet. So the chocolate's all broken up into the bowl, and I stick it into the microwave for half a minute, 30 seconds at a time, and then I can keep checking on it. So this chocolate, I put it in for 30 seconds, gave it a stir, another 30 seconds, gave it a stir, and another 30 seconds, and it's just perfect. You need to be really careful that you don't burn your chocolate. You wouldn't be able to use it again, it goes grainy, so just till it's just lovely and glossy and just enough melted. So I've just set the chocolate to the side to cool a little, and in the meantime, if you get a big plate, or I've used a tray and I put some baking paper to put the truffles on. Now this gets a bit messy. So a big teaspoonful, and then put it in your hands. This is why you need very clean hands, and roll it up and stick it on the tray. And you do this for the whole bowl. So I've done all the truffles there, I've rolled them up, I've put them on the greaseproof paper, and now I'm going to stick them into the freezer for maybe 5 or 10 minutes till they harden up a little before I can then coat them in the chocolate. Now we're ready to do this. I've just taken these out of the freezer, and here is another pretty messy bit. Right, so what I do is 2 teaspoons. If you pick up one of the truffles and drop it into the chocolate, just roll it about, give it a shake, and back on the paper. Now here are some of the truffles I've already done. What I like to do is you could put a drizzle of chocolate on the top. So you can get the white Terry's chocolate orange segments, or just some white chocolate with some orange food colouring. So I'll just put some in a bowl and I'll melt it through, and then we'll do the drizzling. So here's some the melted white Terry's chocolate. So if you just take it and we can just give it a rough drizzle over the top for a little bit of decoration. There we go. And then if you just return that to the fridge again for maybe half an hour or so, there we have our Terry's chocolate orange truffles. Perfect gift for anybody in your family or friends.
Good morning everyone. I hope you're all enjoying this third Sunday in Advent. And speaking of Advent, have you opened up your Advent calendar yet this morning? Are you all up to date with it? It was so great for Steph to remind us last week that we don't have to wait for Jesus to come to earth anymore like the prophets had to all those years ago. And speaking of prophets, do you remember what a prophet is? Prophets were given messages from God and were to share these visions and future plans with others. This week we're going to be talking about some more ways that God shared information with humans on earth. God sent angels down to deliver information to different people. The word angel actually means messenger. They are heavenly beings sent by God to do what he has commanded and to deliver his messages. Angels seem to have very important parts to play in God's amazing plan. But many times when angels appear to God's people, one of the first things they say is, "Do not be afraid." So although they are angels of our loving God, they must be quite frightening too. As well as being messengers for God, and despite their frightening appearance, we are also shown that angels are protectors. Throughout the Bible, angels have kept God's people out of physical danger. Like when Daniel was in the lion's den, they kept him safe without the lions touching him. And in Psalm 91 verse 11, we're reminded that God sends his angels to keep us safe. It says, "God will put his angels in charge of you to protect you wherever you go." And the Bible also tells us about different kinds of angels and what they did. They appear in the Bible from beginning to end. In Genesis, after Adam and Eve were sent out of the Garden of Eden, an intimidating angel called a cherubim with a fiery sword stopped them from getting back into the garden. Also in Genesis, right before Abraham was about to offer his son Isaac, an angel stopped him just in time before killing his son. In 1 Kings, an angel strengthened and protected Elijah, giving him food and water to survive his journey. In Isaiah, another type of angel with 6 wings, called seraphim, visit him, and one touched Isaiah's lips with coal to take away his sin. And the Bible also tells us about a very special angel named Gabriel, who brought very important messages to God's chosen people. Gabriel is mentioned at 3 different times in the Bible. First, in the Old Testament, we see that he visits Daniel in a vision, after he's been protected by another angel in the lion's den, and mentions that there will be an anointed one in the future, about the coming of Jesus. Then fast forward many years to the New Testament, where we read in the Gospels about the Christmas story. Gabriel visited Zechariah, telling him that he would become a father of John the Baptist, and that his wife, Elizabeth, would become pregnant and their son would be the one to baptise Jesus. A few months later, Gabriel's final appearance in the Bible is when he visits Mary to tell her that she will give birth to Jesus, who is the Son of God. And there's more appearances of angels in the Christmas story. Like when one appeared to Joseph in a dream, telling him that Mary was telling the truth, that she was going to give birth to the Son of God. And more angels visit the shepherds on the night of Jesus' birth to tell them the exciting news that the Saviour has been born in Bethlehem, so that they can go and visit the baby Jesus in the manger and tell everyone around them about this amazing news. After the Christmas story, in Acts, we read about an angel who released the apostles from prison so that they could continue preaching. And in Jude, we read about Michael the archangel, who protects God's people and is the chief messenger of God. He has more power and higher authority than other angels. So that's only a few examples of angels that we find in the Bible. And although we can read about many different times that angels appeared to God's people, we need to remember that being in the presence of an angel didn't actually happen very often in people's lives. Angels performed the special job that God wanted them to do, and then they left. They were always sent to do what God asked them to, not to make friends with humans. We should never worship angels or pray to them instead of God and Jesus. God rules over everything and everyone, and we should be thankful to Him that He has given us angels to help communicate God's messages to us and to help keep us safe from the enemy.